Hello, Yearbook. This is a basic overview of Walsworth as a whole. So I'm going to make this video atop of the other videos that I'm creating for the yearbook class. So you guys can see what every button does pretty much and how it all works. So I'm starting on the login screen and I'm going to explain that. Here's the login. You put in your stuff. You should all know that already. But the good thing about Yearbook360 is it's all very easy to find. In my opinion, at least, it's easy to find. So I'm just gonna go over what every button does, and then I'll talk about like the stuff at the bottom later. But I'll talk about a few things that are on the bottom to start, but mostly I'm gonna talk about what every little button on the screen does because I think this would be helpful. I wish I had this last year. So over here on the first page, you can see like the progress in the book. So right now, how many pages? We've started 7 spreads, so 14 pages. We have 366 pages in total, 184 spreads. So this will be good checking for like how far along we are when we get actually started. And then if you're curious as to what our deadlines are, you can click here and it'll tell you we've got a deadline on October 14th, November 25th, December 30th, January 20th, and March, I think, 3rd. If you're ever wondering about when a page is due, we'll probably have it on the board and you'll know. But if you ever want to know when a future one is to get started, you can check here. Then this is how many sales we have, obviously, online ads, how many we've done, or how many. I don't actually guess I know what this is. I think this either is online, like how many ads we've run, or how many ads have been purchased for the back of the book. Then sales data reports, all this stuff. This is Yearbook Snap if you're new. It's students can send in photos and we can approve them to use in the book, but a lot of people don't know about this. I want to have more people know about this because it's cool. Um, we can add students and stuff. This is help for the website and other things that are pretty useful. This first page that you first see, the Yearbook360 tab up top, there's 5 tabs. This is what you're going to see the most. So it's going to have your name, the school. Live yearbook is something you can flip through the entire book like it is a book. If you ever want to like go through and look for things, you can do that. You can also view all the spreads in a grid, which is nice if you're trying to find something specific or just want to peek through the book. You can literally look at everything. Then we've got you can view all the pages. You can view every page that has not been opened. Every page that's been started. We've only started a few because Aaron was still working on the ladder at this time. You can prove every page that's in proof, every page that's approved, and every submitted page. So if we ever ask, like if you're an editor, and we say, hey, can you go through and check proofed pages, you'd go here. Or you could just literally like type in a specific page number. I remember. You do it here. You can jump to a page if you want to go to a specific one, or if it's proofed, you can go here and scroll until you find it. And if you're someone who's checking approved pages that have already been looked over by Miss Legier just in case, you can go here. Submitted, it'll just show how many pages we've done. I usually just stay on this tab because I like scrolling and seeing everything because it's nice to look at. And then if you're ever wondering what page you're on, because we assign by topic, it'll be on these little on the ladder, which most people already know this, but I'm gonna go over all the things. So it'll say the name of each page. If it's a page with 2 things, you'll know because it'll be like, let me find one. SWAT and Youth in Action. It'll have 2 sides to the spread, which is nice. Then that's pretty much the main first page. I'm going to talk about these buttons down here. I'm not going to talk about these yet. So actually I will. I'll just talk about the entire bottom. This notifications, it'll be like if we've left you a note or if, I don't know, your page is overdue. I'm pretty sure it'll pop up there. Spreads. This is just every page in the book. Again, you can jump to a page if you want from here instead of opening up the view spreads. Photo tray. This is where you can view pictures or find a picture if you want to look at anything. This is all. Photos, everyone will have a folder depending on how we organize them this year. All here. Then people can recommend stuff for your pages. So if you have a page, someone can literally like recommend it for your thing. Then this button, how you can upload photos. You can also do that in the Photos tab, which I'll talk about later, but if you want to do it just fast, you can do it here. Then messages, editors, and Miss Legier, we can all message you or like let you know about something. I use this a lot sometimes when I'm going through and editing pages, so make sure to check it. You'll have a little different number if you have one, so it's good to keep track of. To do, I love this feature. You can literally, like, I can assign to-dos for other people, or you can assign to-dos for yourself. So let's find me, and I can do make templates, which I've already done, but I'll write it anyway. And we can put a due date. So let's say I want to have that by the 29th of this month. Boom. Then it'll pop up, and I can literally check it off, and it's gone, which is really, really useful. Like, if you want to, I don't know, make sure you have a list. A lot of people I feel like would benefit from this. If you want to use it, you can. I think it's great. I used it all of last year. And then live support is like help for the website. Like, you can do it and talk to, it's like a help. Yeah, see? Live support. You can talk to people from Walsworth, I think. I've never used it before. Then up here, we got a photo editor. So you can literally open this and edit photos on Yearbook, on Photopea. It's like Photoshop, which is really useful if you're also in a rush. Support, again, Yearbook help, sign out, main page. Nice. This is the entire front page. Then, also, if you've been in Yearbook before and you've used this website, you can click here. You can add a profile picture if you want. And then changing your password is here. And then also you can go between old books and new books. So like if I click this, that'll take me to last year's book. And I can go through and look at pages up close if I want to like find something similar. So that is an option. Now, we've got the photos tab, which this is literally just pictures. You can see this is mine for the graphics to work on templates. You've got my photos. You can upload photos and make albums here. An album, you'll just title it whatever we decide. I don't know how we're doing that yet. And you'll see yearbook snap stuff here and stuff that people want. If you ask someone, hey, can you help me? I know you took some photos for a page. They can recommend it to you. So it'll be here. Photo albums. This will show you every album that's been made. So you can add an album. We've got all of these. Like right now, this is the first day of school taken by Mustangs on Film, which is run by Julia, who's the head editor of photography right now. So that's something she did. I think that's how we're doing it, is we're like putting the thing and then what it is. So you can literally look here and scroll and scroll. Later down the year, we'll have literally so many albums, but that's where that is. And you can search by topic. So it'll be like all of these. We're going to try and tag stuff this year. So if I put in like, let's see, if I put in band, the band, things that are tagged with band would pop up. So it's really nice. It'll be helpful. Then Yearbook Snap, again, this is where students who upload their stuff will pop up here. Then you can search photos. So you can do it by tags, by photo topics, by the file name, by the orientation, who's in the picture. You could do it by a ton of different ways. So you got a lot of options for searching for pictures, which is very cute. There's many options. And then also here, we can literally look up like students. So it'll show you how many times a person has been in the book, which is very helpful, which I don't think we've tagged anything yet, but it will be here. Then we've got the plan book tab. This is where I am most of the time if you see me working in class. So this is what Aaron was doing. This is the ladder. If you come here and you want to find out what pages you're on, you can check, but also you can just ask. If you ever want to know, you can look here and you'll find out what page you're on. Like, see, me and Aaron are on this one. Then titles, due dates, staff, master pages. You can add everything to this, which Aaron will be doing. So you guys won't probably ever touch this unless you become the ladder editor. But all of this stuff, very easy to look at. Then we've got the fonts, which I'm gonna actually mess with while I'm here. We are using not this one. We are using these fonts. We're not using Helvetica. It's just a default, so I can't get rid of it. But we're mainly using this, and then the brushstroke font for this year. But this is where all of them are. If you ever wanted to, like, if you're doing design, if you ever wanted to add a font, literally you can just scroll through. It'll show you a little preview right next to it when you hover over it, and you can just click it and it'll add it to your library of fonts if you're ever doing that in a later year. Then color styles. This is like where we would put the colors we're using. We don't have really any yet because we're doing color picking, but it literally has a bunch of swatches and you can pick from all of these and make a color set that will appear on every page when you open it. So if I opened a regular spread, it would pop up on the like top when you open the colors. Very helpful. I'll talk about that when I open a spread, but that's where that would be added for students to use. Then master pages is just like a blank page. It's what's on every, if you want to apply something to every single page, this is where you would do it. Custom templates, this is where I make everything. So we've got templates for everything. If you ever want to do this, if you're doing design, one, you can come look in here at any time, really. Anyone can. Open it up. I'm pretty sure anyone can, at least. My ring doorbell. You can apply templates if you're doing this. You can literally drag them onto pages, so they just go. I usually like going in and doing it by hand, like clicking on each spread and dragging it in because I want to mess with it a little or I want to fix it so it's right. If you ever want to create a new one, you do this, you name it, save, and then you can open it. Very, very easy. You can also make templates from last year. You can go back and take spreads from other pages from last year's book. So if you wanted, let's say I don't really want any of them. If I wanted like the Spotify page, where was that at? The Spotify page was here. If I wanted this page, you can also hover over and see it. If I wanted to take that, I could click this and make a custom template and it would be added to the custom templates, which is really useful if you want to do it. Or you can take it from another job, which I assume, yeah. Custom templates from the entire thing. So I can take all of the templates from last year's book and put them in here. But I usually like making them from scratch. So then we have the portraits and index section, which I don't know if you guys will need to touch this, but I'm going to explain it anyway. Students. This is the list of all the students, or a student list template. This will show you like all the students in our book. Then this portraits tab will be every student. You can search by grade, you can search by their homerooms, or like a custom search, or you can literally search their name. So portraits, we don't have any yet. But it's very useful if you want to make sure someone's in the book, or like if a student asks you, they're like, hey, did my thing get uploaded? I can't remember if I got my picture for this or not. If a senior doesn't remember and it's past the day, you can check for them. If not, they won't be in the book, but you can let them know at least. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I hope so because I'm going to explain it anyway. You can also add students if we get new people that need to be put in, but none of us really do that. Organizations. This is like for clubs, I'm pretty sure, but I don't really know. I've never touched this tab. Flowing portraits, you guys probably won't need to do, but I'm also going to explain it anyway. Creating new flow, so we'll do this, and it'll apply to the pages. Like, if I was doing all the juniors, it would be from juniors to 205, and you just select all of these pages. Select all these. I'd want to do it from, I'm starting from scratch. You select how many rows you want, so how it looks, how many columns. You can also enter the page range and then put it in, which we don't have any yet, so I'm not going to do this, but if you ever get told later that you want to do this, I'll probably make a video for it once we get the portraits to show how to do it because it is very confusing and I had to learn. There's also flowing the index here. Flowing the index is pretty explanatory. You would scroll to the index and do the same thing, select from page to page and put it in. It's also confusing, so I will make a video for that later. Then we have the sales tab. This is where you can see like how much we've made in total. So we've got like sales from 2025-2026 yearbook, personal ads, online, and this is how much we sold yearbooks. It's per yearbook, how many yearbooks we sold, how much we've made, all this stuff. Good stuff. It's if you want to look, I don't know, you can. This is how many we've sold. So if you want a full color, like a full page in color in the back of the book, it's that much. We've sold one of them. If you want half a page in color, it's that much. We've sold one of them. It's that much, so on. So, or at least I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I think that's what it is. I don't know. This is the yearbook discount for us. If you ever want to know what it is, it's right there. So that is basically the website. Then I'm going to do like a page. See all the buttons on the page. So now when you open a spread, it's a little more, you got a lot of buttons to look at. So I'm going to explain everything to the best of my ability. File, this is where you can save your spread, save it and close it, close the spread. You can save a spread that you make as a custom template if you're doing design stuff. You can save it as a PDF. So the PDF will save to your downloads up here when you have it in a regular, not zoomed in version of Google. It'll save it as a PDF and you can check like, are your photos grainy? Like all that kind of stuff. You also, if you get kicked out and you want to go back, you can restore to a previous version. As long as you've saved it, you can go back to that. You can delete everything and go back to a blank spread. And preferences, like what do you want to do for snaps and stuff. Then edit, you can undo, redo, which you also have for like Control-Z, Control-Y, all that stuff. You do that here if you want to. Control, cut, copy, paste, paste in place, very useful. If you're designing again, paste in place is very nice if you want to like make sure something's directly aligned, or you can use the stuff on the layout tab, which I'll talk about. And select all is here. Checking your spelling is also here. You can also make a custom dictionary for certain words if you don't want it to tell you it's spelled wrong. Then you've got the object tab, which most of you guys probably won't use. Grouping and ungrouping, I use sometimes to make sure stuff doesn't get moved around. Like if I'm selecting if I have a box and I have another box and I select them and I move them around, sometimes they'll like shift because of the snapping. If you don't want that to happen, you can group them. And then locking things you can do here. So like if I want to have a box and then I want it to not move, I lock it. And then you can't even click it. So if it was like a background or something. But then also you can go here and unlock everything and then nothing will be locked, which is useful if you don't want people to move something. And converting text to shape, it's like if I wanted to, let's say this is a heading I wanted to use. If I want to put an outline around this text, if you just hit border, like if I have this open and I hit border, it puts it around the box, not the text. And you're probably like, how would I do that then? Convert the text to a shape, which you can't change it after you do this, but you can put an outline on it, which is nice if you want to do that. Then you have the view tab, which I like this tab because you can also do view kind of here. You zoom in with this, zoom out, zoom a certain percent, which you can also do here. Panning, it's just like moving without moving anything on the screen. Showing the grid, which I always have on when I'm designing. If you're doing design, you have to have the grid on. Never do half pica, always do full pica. Or pica, whatever you want to call it. Snap to grid, when you have the grid on, you should have that on. Guides are these purple and blue lines and stuff. You can have it to snap to them, so if I put a shape here, let's say I put a square, and I want it to kind of snap. You see how it's snapping to those purple lines? I don't know, sometimes I use that, it's nice. But you don't have to snap to guides. Set column and row guides. You can have it so it's specific for your page. Then you've got show the bleed bar, which is this. You could turn that off, but you should have it on. Text linking, sticky notes. That'll be stuff. If I like want to put something on your page to let you know about something, you can do that here. So you can view them or hide them if you'd like to. So that's the top. Now we're going to go on the side with all the different things you can use. So select is just, I'm going to put some base things. So we've got a square. Select, if I want to select it, boom. Easy. It's obvious what that's for, but the buttons can get confusing. If I'm on text and I select a box, then I am typing inside the box, which you can't see, but I can do this. Boom. Then if I do text and click it, I'm typing. But if I do select and click it, I'm not typing. Then you've got text, obviously, which if you click and drag after clicking text, you make a text box. You can type in it. Very easy. I use these a lot. If you're doing design, you're going to use them all the time. Boom. Text box. Nice. Text. Wow. Awesome. Then you've got the draw tool. This I don't really use unless I'm making like text I want it to go on a specific thing. Over here, it'll be like draw on the canvas. You could do, it's like anchors. So if I want a triangle, boom, I have made a triangle. You can change the color of it. You can add it like as a graphic if you want. You can also draw with a curved line. So if I was doing like, I want to put text around this, like this. You can make this funky little shape like that, and then go over here and do text on a path, and it will go on this path like that you've made, and it'll go all the way around. This is just some dummy text. It'll be like a whole curve, and you can hide the border, so you'll hide the line, and then it'll just be a little curvy little text box, which is very cool. I barely use that though. Then you've got the shapes. You have a square, a circle, a triangle, a polygon, a star, this weird funky shape, and other things. All of these are very useful, but you can also draw specific shapes with this tool. Then pan I use a lot. They just have a button for it over here, which is nice. Zoom I also use a lot. You make a box, zoom. You can zoom out by hitting fit to page. It's usually how I do it. I like having it on like 75. And then you can literally zoom in just a little. And then it's perfect. It's great. You can also zoom using this. As you saw, you can literally do that or fit it to the page, which is nice. Then this text, if I was, let's say, got this open. Text, I want to change the color of the text. You got all of the swatches in the Walsworth library here, which I think you can add custom ones, but usually we just use this. If we had colors set to a page, they would appear right here, like underneath this as their own little box, other than the recently used. But we don't have one right now. And when you're on templates, not a spread that's in the ladder, you won't have those colors, but you can select any color you want. Say I want green. There. You can fill the box that the text box is here too, which usually we won't, but we might. I don't know. You can add a border to a text box, all that stuff. So that is the one side. And then if I want to leave you guys a little note, it'll look like this. And I can type here. It could be meow, 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 meow. You know, that is, and then I'll post it. And you can go and see it. And then if I want to get rid of it, delete. Delete. And you can delete them, I think, from your end too if you want to get rid of it on your page. But that is pretty much that stuff. If there is a sticky note on your page, please read it because sometimes we do put them there or I put them there and it's useful unless I message you directly on the program. Then on this side, the object tab, you can adjust its place on the thing literally with these by typing it in or just dragging. If you see when I drag it, the X and Y move around. You can also adjust the height if you need it specific here. You can also freeze it so that locks it so it won't move. Unlock it, same thing. You can change the weight of the border here. So if I want it to have a pretty green border, there you go, pretty green border. But if I don't want it that thick, I can make it super thin. Great. Then you can rotate it here, which I love this little thing. You can move it around, like with the circle. It's very cool, but you can also just hit that. Ignoring a text warp is useful sometimes when you have, if I wanted, like, putting this text here, I want to do this box is going to be, the text wraps around it. So it'd look like this. Like that. And if I put some spaces in the text, it would go like that. Like, let me add a bunch. Wait, I need to put spaces. I forget. Anyway, you get the idea. You get pretty much the idea of it. See, you can go here and undo if you want to not use Control Z, which is fun. Then, other than that, in the object box, I'm going to put it back because now I'm messing with this. In the object box, you can do text on a path here too, or remove a picture from a box. So if there was a picture here, I'd click this, it'd take the picture out, and go back to a regular box. Then we've got the type tab, which this is nice. You can underline stuff. Usually, I don't think we do. You can also pick like bold. Like if I had a student name, it would be this, but you would do bold in here instead, which there's a lot of options. Not extra bold, just regular bold. Very easy. If you want to change the size of a font, you do it here. So let's say I wanted this font to be huge. It's nice and big, yeah. It could be that big if I wanted it to be, but usually the way this will work, which is really convenient, I tried to do this last year, but I did it better this year, so we have less options. You can literally, if you need to have a body text, boom, you click it, body text. Heading size, small caption, big body text, like if you want it to be more bold, and the subheading all have their own presets, but I didn't make one for student names just because sometimes body text varies. If you did have it though, you just make body text, the 9-point, select, and do bold. For this year at least. It can change from year to year. I'm gonna leave that as a subheading size. It's pretty legible. You can also adjust, like, if it's in the middle, if it's straight text, if it's left or right aligned. You can mess with that. It's pretty useful. You can also do drop captions, so you can make one letter big or make all the words to the side of the one letter. I don't know. It's fun. There's lots of things you can do. Then, the other tab over here, make another box, and I'm going to put something in it. I don't know what yet. We're going to pick a picture. I'm going to put a Mustangs on Film picture in this box. We're going to do this one. So let's say you have a picture and you go to photo. You can see everything about this picture in this box. So if I click it, see it's Mustangs on Film. It'll tell you the graphics stuff. It'll tell you who it's uploaded by, who's tagged. No one's tagged in this picture. You can do photo details. It'll show you more stuff like what it's tagged for. You can edit the photo here, which will open the Photopea that I showed. You can add effects to the photo. So you can like color, auto color, add. And it'll adjust it. It does stuff like that. You can also do like an oil painting filter, so it'll make it look, I don't know. They're fun. It's something funny you can add if you want to add a filter to your picture, which we don't really use it. See, it changes it, so it looks like a painting, I guess. I don't know. There's a bunch of different effects you can use if you want to use them. So that's where you'd find that. You can add a caption to this, but it's like it would have to be on it or something, I think. I've never used that button. You can crop it from here, so you can, like, if I want to zoom in on them, boom. You can also, never mind, I lied. You can add a clipping path. So, like, if I want the picture to end a certain place, like, I can do this. Add a point, make a curve, and sometimes you can drag it. So, like, if I want to do this, if I want to have them be in a specific little box, do this, and then like that. If you want to have some weird shaped picture, you can do that. That's pretty cool. You can also remove the background of the picture. This is how we would make a cutout. So it'll load for a little bit. You just give it a second, and it will eventually. It always takes so long, but it's very, very helpful because it 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 allows you to get a cutout really quickly, and it also, like, you can edit the cutout if you open it in Photopea, if you open it in the edit photo caption after it's removed the background, you can fix it if it messes it up. I don't think it's gonna do it, though. Well, you get the idea. It'll do that. Then you got the layout button, which this is my bestest friend in the whole wide world when I'm doing the design stuff. Say we got 2 boxes. I want this black box to be in front. You've got these buttons. Hit this one. Boom. And it moves it all in front of it. And now this one is behind it, which is really, really useful. You also can, like, mess with alignment. So if I want these 2 things, I want them to be in the same. Let's say if this text was in the center. And I had a shape. Or, like, I'm going to do this instead. We've got 2 shapes. I'm going to make this another color so you can see it better. Got a gray box and a black and green box. I want them to be aligned with each other. So I would click this button, and they would be aligned. Or if I wanted them to be in the middle, boom. Now they're the same. Or if I wanted them to be on the right, let's just say this one's here. I want these to be right next to each other, boom. And I want them to be there. Or this. There's lots of things. So if I wanted these to be next to each other, I could, and I want them to be flat on the same edge. It's very useful. You can also mirror the page. So if I click this, it'll put it on the other side. I can mirror on both and then duplicate it onto the other side, which is useful. Again, this is text warping, so if I want this text to go around this, I hit this, boom. You can really hit any of them, it doesn't matter. It just depends on where you want the text to lay with that. It's very nice. I love this tab. I use it like crazy. And then we've got the effects tab, which I don't think many people either touch or know exists, but you can make things transparent. So if I want this box, say, to be a little see-through, boom, it's see-through. Boom, boom, boom. So if I had text underneath this box, which, let me undo this. So the text will go behind it. Boom, text, hello. There. The text is behind it, but you can't see it. If you wanted to have some kind of thing like that, you could make this transparent. And you'd be able to see it just slightly, like that. If you wanted to, that's an option. Also round the squares if you want a rounded square. You can add a shadow, like a drop shadow to your things, and you can mess with the opacity and like where it's sitting. You can make a gradient, which is useful sometimes. I like using the gradients. If you want a gradient, you can have that and change the colors of it, change where it's coming from. Very fun. Then we get into portraits. You can go through all the portraits when they're in templates. You can see all the custom templates. There's also other templates in here that we can use, but I make them all. So we've got all these. You can view all the templates. Usually you guys won't need to do that, but it's there. Click art. Usually also you won't need this unless you're doing design. It also takes forever to load, but it's a giant like catalog of all of the icons and artworks you can use from Walsworth. This is like academic icons. You've got, which one I use the most is people. I never use the cartoony ones, but there are like these I like using for showing what's on a page. Get that you could use. And there's like just a bunch of stuff. Like if you want to have a cool icon on a page, you can use any of these. It's very useful, and they're all not copyrighted, so you don't have to worry about it. Or at least I assume they are because they're in here. If we wanted this cool shape, maybe we could have this cool shape. You can make it as big as it goes. I think that's as big as it goes. But like, if we wanted this guy who's on a page in front of a thing, and you wanted him to have a cool shape, say this is a picture and he's popping out the picture, you could add a little graphic to him. Isn't that cool? You could do that. There's a bunch of stuff that you can use, so it's very useful if you don't want to go out from like Canva and get something. Backgrounds, you can have, like if I want to have this page have this as a background, you can. I don't think we've ever used this either, but it's pretty fun. Like if I wanted this magical page about this band guy, that's what I'm gonna say. He's singing a song. This could be what his page looks like, and it could be all blue, which is it's pretty cool. And you can mess with the transparency of the backgrounds. I don't know if you saw that. You can mess with it if you don't want it to be super dark, but it's a pretty cool little thing. Like this is so cool. I don't even know what this is for. And you can like make it not there. But very, very cool. It's very fun. If there was ever a page to use these on, I feel like we would because it's just interesting and you don't ever see it like this is like a file folder. This is very cool. They're very cool. I've always wanted to use them, but we just never do. Like who made these? I don't know. Very awesome. There's a bunch of different like colors, black and white images you can go through. It's very fun. And then we've got the ads. So these are all the ads that people have bought that we're gonna miss this year or someone else maybe this year will like kind of format them on the pages. But that is pretty much the entire website. Let's see what these notifications I have are. What are these notifications? Let's see. Notifications. Font removed. Okay, because I did that. But that's pretty much the entire website. If there's anything that I didn't put in this video that someone says that I should, I'll add it later, probably. But for the most part, that is the entire website. So if you want any other things explained or you have any other questions, I can upload more videos. But that is how to use Walsworth. Also, one more thing I didn't say, if you want to get a quick copy, like high res thing, you can do here to check if photos are grainy and stuff too. Or just to check writing. So that is the entire website. I hope this helped someone learn how to use it because it took me a while. So that is the entire way to use Walsworth. And I hope this tutorial helped someone. So thank you.